Hello, Year 3, back to Monday Maths. I hope you've had a lovely weekend, relaxing and not doing any schoolwork whatsoever. So we are going to kickstart Monday with a 5 a day, which is a good way to get our maths brains into gear. So you should have a 5 a day shared in the OneDrive that we have shared with you. Looks like this. You're going to either need to print it out or you could write the questions out. It doesn't matter which way you do it, as long as you have a go at it. Don't spend more than 10 minutes and come back to me, pause me now and come back to me and we'll go over the questions together. So off you go, no more than 10 minutes and I will see you shortly. Press pause. Okay, so hopefully you've had a go at that now. I'm not going to do the answers on here today because I know technology sometimes gets in the way and it's tricky on here to do it from a laptop with a mouse. So I'm going to go back to the good old-fashioned ways of using my board, which I like to use. We use the board a lot in class. So we're going to start with this one here, and I'm going to stop the share because the screen is too small. So the first one was to put some fractions in order from smallest to largest. So you've got the fractions half, 3/4 and 1/4. Now you've got some space underneath there, so there is no harm in you doing a visual aid here to help you, which is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to draw, like we did with fractions, a cake. On this cake, I'm going to shade in half. On this cake, I'm going to shade in 3/4. And in this cake, I'm going to shade in 1/4. It doesn't take me very long to just give myself a little bit of help. So I can see by looking at the cakes now that this one has got the least amount shaded in. So that is my smallest one. This one then is the next. And then 3/4 is the largest fraction there. So you should have, for that question, written 1/4, then a half, and then 3/4 from smallest to largest. Well done if you got that right. We have covered fractions, but it was a whistle-stop tour, really. So if you've managed to remember how to order fractions, that is fantastic. So well done. Moving on to the next question then, if I just share the screen again. There, we'll look at this one now, the column method to work out. So let me get rid of this on here. So we've got 567 take away 278. Okay, the column method, remember the hundreds, tens and ones need to be in line with one another to make sure that we are doing it correctly. I'll just stop that share then. So I've written it out there. Doesn't take long. So starting with the ones, always with the ones. 7 take away 8. Can I do 7 take away 8? No, I can't. So I need to go next door to the tens, make that into 50 or 5 tens, and then take one here. So I've now got 17 take away 8. 17 take away 8, children, you should have got in there. 9 in there. Well done if you got that right. And I can double check that by saying 8 plus 8, double 8 would be 16, and then one more. So 8 and one more is 9. Okay, so then we go to the tens. We've got 50 take away 70, or 5 take away 7. 5 tens take away 7 tens. Can I do that? I can't. So I've got to get rid of this again, which becomes a 4. And sorry, ignore me. Get rid of this. This becomes a 4. And this now becomes 15 take away 7. 15 take away 7. I can use the same method here that I did over there. I know that 7 and 7 make 14 and one more. So this is 8 here. Okay, 15 take away 7. Then we've got here 400 take away 200. 4 take away 2. That's nice and easy. 4 take away 2. And you should have got the answer, 289. Well done if you did. Lots of carrying over there to practice, which we had done when we did our subtraction method. Well done if you worked that out. That is fantastic. That is your second question, a second mark if you got it right. Going down here now. Oh, excuse me. If I had my dinner 35 minutes ago and it is 15:10 now, what time did I eat? Now, we didn't cover when we did time the 24-hour clock. So this may have thrown you a little bit. So I'm going to draw a clock here. 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, 9 should be here. 9, 10, 11. There's my clock. I've done it really quickly. Now, 15:10. is the digital time, and we didn't cover this when we covered time. We're going to come back to time to cover the 24-hour clock. But if you had a little bit of assistance here, or maybe you knew it anyway, if I was doing a 24-hour clock, I would say that 12, 13, 14, this is 15 o'clock, 3 o'clock. So 15, 10, 5, 10 is this time. Let me share the screen with you, so stop the share so that you can see what I'm doing. So 15 is the same as 3 on a 24-hour clock. Very tricky. I've really tricked you with this one. Don't worry if you didn't know it. This is, you know, a learning curve, a bit of a revision and a bit of a challenge. So this is what the time would look like 10 past 3 or 3:10 on here. And I had my dinner, I think I said 35 minutes ago. Let me just check I was right there. 35 minutes ago. So that was 35 minutes ago. So 35 minutes before this time. So I'm going to go back with my minute hand, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. So my minute hand is now down here, which means it's not quite on the 3 yet. So what time is it? Well, the hour hand is just after the 2. And if I count round 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, it is 2:35. Now, if you were going to do it in 24 hours time, 12, 13, it would be 14:35. Very tricky. You may have written it as 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 minutes to, because we're on the 2 side, 3. You could have written it in words like that as well. Ooh, really tricky. If you got that right, well done. Very, very tricky question this morning to get you started. Okay, nice and easy now, down to this one. Name a month with 30 days. Now, you need your fists again. I showed you a trick here. We've just finished January. January did not have 30 days because it's on my knuckles, 31 days. We are now in the month of February, and February does not have 30 days because it's the one that's on its own and has 28 days. That means that March then would have 31. April has 30 days. May has 31. June has 30 days. Let me check my fists. January, February, March, April, May, June. July has 31, so that's not one. August has 31. September has 30. October doesn't. November has 30. So you could have any one of these and get the answer right. So you could have had April, June, September or November. If you got one of those, well done. Using your knuckles to help you out. This is a really good trick. Okay, last one then, and we've done this quite recently. So this is our number bonds to 100. 78, add something equals 100. Really quick and easy way to do this was on a number line. If you remember, we did this quite recently together. Let's stop the share there. So I had 78 here, I had 100 on the end. My working out doesn't have to be neat as long as I get to the right answer and I can clearly see what I'm doing. So 78 to the next 10 is 80. 80 to 100 is adding on 20. So you should have had 78 add 22 equals 100. Well done if you managed to do that. If you did it like this, fantastic. You've remembered a method. You may have easily done that in your head. 78, 88, 98, that's 20, and then 2 more, 22. That's your 5 a day, children. Well done. Oh, it was a tricky one today, especially with that time one thrown in there. Don't worry if you don't get them all right. That means that you've got something to work on, and we always need something to work on, don't we? We need a little bit of challenge in our life. So we can do some extra work on some 24-hour clocks on a different week, if that's something that we need, and maybe some more work on subtraction for some of us who may have struggled with the carrying over on that one, because they were the 2 tricky ones we had. in that 5 a day. So tot up your scores. We love seeing how you get on with your 5 a days. It's really, really good for us to see. And we hope that you're doing them independently, because that's what we would do in class. It's like a revision to see how you're getting on. So send us your scores if you want to. It is not your assessed piece, so we're not going to be marking it. You've marked it yourself. But sometimes it's just nice to see how you're getting on. So now that your maths brains are all started, we're going to get going with this week's work. Now, this week we are moving topic. Last week we were looking at the topic of, remind me, it wasn't time. We were looking at the topic of, I can't even remember what you did last week. My brain has vanished. It's a new topic. We're on a new topic this week, and we're going to be looking at handling data, or we sometimes call it statistics. Statistics is quite a big mathematical word. So handling data is something that you've done in Key Stage 1 quite simply, and we're going to move on now to learn some new things about how we handle data, how we group things together and keep a record of it. So today our WALT is to interpret, that means to read and to understand, scaled, that means numbered, pictograms. Now, you did pictograms in year 2, so we think that you will be familiar with it, but we're going to just play you a little video as a little recap to see if you can remember what they're about. So I'm going to play that for you now. Let me see if I can get it up. Of course, I always have to have a little search because everything goes missing on me. Here it is. Let me get it up. So listen carefully. It's 3 minutes long. Just a little introduction from what you have already covered when you were in lower school, just as a recap, really.
Golden Crow ran the bird table, a place where all birds could meet to chit and to chat, talk about this and that, and of course get something to eat. Nuts were amazingly popular, as were seeds of all different kinds. Some went for his special fat, juicy worms, but they weren't that easy to find. Then one day our Gordon had problems. "I'm in trouble," he said, "there's no doubt. Because of 1 or 2 worms and plenty of seeds, but of nuts I've completely run out." When the birds came, the whole flock was looking. "How could this happen?" cried one. "I want some nuts," called another. "Gordon, what on earth's going on?" "I'm sorry," said Gordon, quite shaken, "but the thing is I'm quite low on stock. I can't work out how many nuts I should get, or worms or seeds for the flock." "Course you can," said a voice from above him, and down through the wise old owl Sam. "You can work out how many you want worms, seeds or nuts by using a bird pictogram." "Pictogram?" said Gordon, quite baffled. "What's that then?" said one of the birds. "How can I show you?" said Samuel, "because it's quite hard to explain it in words." "I know, nut folk, get up on that branch there. It's quite strong, you can take it from me, and stand on each other's shoulders. If you need to, hang on to the tree. Now, seed birds, go up there next to them. Yeah, you do exactly the same. That's it. Very good. Not so many, but you're getting the hang of the game. Now then, that only leaves you 2 birds here. What do you like?" "Worms, dearie me. Now then, there's only 2 of you. Up you go. Now, good, and you see? The tallest column is nut birds, right? I think if you count them, there's 6, right? Then 4 for the seeds, 2 for the worms." Said Gordon, "I've seen some tricks, but this just about takes biscuits. It shows me just what I should get. 6 lots of nuts, 4 lots of seeds, and 2 worms. It's easy. No sweat." So for some time, all went quite smoothly. Everything according to plan. Gordon just ordered the things that he needed, using his bird pictogram. Then one day, a new flock turned up there. They'd heard that the table was good, but this meant lots of birds, and of course, as you guessed, once more Gordon ran out of food. "Oh, Sam," he called, "now I'm in trouble. I can't put this lot on a branch. I mean, the weight of these birds just might break it. Oh, Samuel, I can't take the chance." "Calm down, don't get in the lather," said Sam. "I've got a new scheme. We won't use the birds, we'll use pictures. Look, I'll show you just what I mean." Then he told each pair of birds to draw pictures of one bird on a piece of card. And the birds, being birds, could all draw birds, of course, so no one found it all that hard. "Now, wings up the nut birds," called out Sam. "8, good. Now listen to me. Each picture represents 2 birds. So stick 4 pictures up in the tree. Now, seed birds, I know you're quite clever. Can you work it out for yourselves? Come on, off you go. Up, 6 pictures. So how many like seed? Of course, 12. This pictogram's looking quite flashy. Now, worm birds, how many are you? Oh, yes, I see. 3 picks up the tree. So there's 6 of you. Good. That'll do." "Amazing," said Gordon, delighted. Once again, I know just what I need. 8 lots of nuts, 6 juicy ones, and 12 lots of very good seeds. Samuel, you're truly fantastic. What can I offer you? No, said Sam, I'm strictly a mouse man. And he flew off with a loud twirl.
Okay, so just a really, really brief introduction there to pictograms using a rhyme, which I thought was quite nice, a story rhyme. Stop the share there. So a pictogram is a way of grouping information, data we can call it, grouping information and using pictures to represent an amount. So a picture may mean one of each item. So when he did the first count of seeds, worms and I can't remember the thing that he did, seeds and worms, let's say, he used each bird as one when he was counting. Then he decided to use a picture and each picture represented 2 birds. So you had to count in 2s on the pictogram. You could have any number. Your picture can represent any number. So you could have a picture representing 5, for example, and then each picture you'd have to count in 5s. So your pictograms represent a collection of data, a collection of information. And today we're going to be looking at scaled pictograms. Scaled means that we have the number on the side. So I'm going to go through a quick PowerPoint with you. I have to share the screen again. And I've remembered while I was listening to that video, trying to get my own brain into gear. Last week, your topic was lines and angles. I don't know how I forgot. It just feels like a lifetime ago that we put all of that work together for you. So lines and angles was your topic last week. So we have moved on from that. So if I share with you, if I can find my PowerPoint, here it is. It's making scaled pictograms. So let's go through this together. So remember, a pictogram is a drawing that represents a group of data to organize your information. Okay, so here is a bar chart showing the favorite fruit for a class of children. The scale counts up in 1s. So each picture, that means, represents 1. And you can see that by looking at the scale at the side, look, because it's not counting in 2s, it's counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's counting up in 1s. That means that each picture represents 1. Here is the same pictogram with one picture representing 2 children's choices. Now let's just flip back. If I look here at the number 1 and I go across with my cursor, that shows me one picture of a banana, one thing. If I keep going, one picture of grapes. If I keep going, one picture of an apple. If I keep going, one picture of a pear. So it means that each picture means 1. When I look at the same pictogram, it's still going up in 1s on the side, but look what happens now with my picture. It seems stretched. And it means that, look, this picture means 2. Not 1 anymore, otherwise it would be down here, the picture. It means 2. This one is another 2. So here if we go across, the grapes now means 2. It doesn't mean 1 anymore, it's matching with the 2. And the apple's the same, going across. This now means 2 children wanted apples, and going across, this means 2 children wanted pears. So it's really important that we look at the scale on the side, okay? Now it's giving me the same information. So if I go back here, look, 10 bananas, 10 children wanted bananas. I can see that by counting in 1s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But if I go to the same information represented in a slightly different way, here are the pictures of the bananas, but each picture now represents 2 children wanting bananas. So I now have to count in 2s. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Same amount of children shown in a slightly different way. Okay, here is the same pictogram with the number scale changed to only show the even numbers. So this time we've taken off number 1, we've got number 2, taken off number 3, got 4, taken off number 5, got number 6, taken off number 7, there's 8, taken off number 9, and there's 10. And that's because we know we've got to count in 2s, and therefore we only need our 2s up the side there. Here is a pictogram showing children's favourite colours. Each circle represents 1 child's choice. So you can see here again, you've got the scale up the side in 1s. And if I go across from number 1, there's one person that likes red, one person that likes blue, one person likes green, one person that likes yellow, and one person that likes pink. So if I choose green, for example, and I want to know how many children's favourite colour is green, I'm counting in ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 children like green. This is the same pictogram, and this time, a bit like the bananas, each one represents 2. So looking at the scale on the side, 0, it's still going up in ones, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But this time, if I go to 1 and I go across, it's not a whole picture. But if I go to 2 and go across, that represents 2 children's favourite colour. So let's go back to green. We said that there were 5, 1, 2, 3, 5 children that like green. Same information. This time, there's 2 children that like green. Another 2 children that like green. So that's 2, 4. Oh, this one's only got half. Now, if I go over here on my scale, that shows me that there's 5 children. And we know that half of 2 is 1. So we've got 2, 4, 5 children. The same information. And then here we go, they've changed the scale because we're counting in 2s. We only need the numbers in our 2 times table at the side. Here is a pictogram showing children's pets. And here we go, each picture represents 1 again. So let's have a look at the hamsters. 4 children, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's check by going across here. 4 children like hamsters. There's the same representation, same information, but this time we're counting in 2s, look. So if I go to number 2 and go across here, that means 2 children liked hamsters. So if I count in 2s, 2, 4, same information, just shown slightly differently. And then look, they've just put the 2s up the side. They haven't put all the numbers. Okay, so that is a scaled pictogram. Let me stop the share there. So using pictures to represent an amount, and then we're putting them onto a chart to collect our information. Now today we are only going to look at pictograms to try and read them and understand them, to interpret them. And your task today is to do that by looking at a pictogram and answering some questions based on it, which I'm going to show you now. Then tomorrow, we're hoping, with a bit of luck, we can get practical with our pictograms, but I won't give it away yet. You'll have to see tomorrow. But the most important thing for now is that we understand them, we can read them, and we can answer questions based on them. That means to interpret them, okay? So I'm going to give you your task for today. If I open share screen once more, I'm always sharing screens, I think. I go in here. So here's the circles. Now, circles, you have got a pictogram here, and it's telling you what each picture means. So you're going to have to count in what? In your 2 times table, look, 2s. So, and it's asking for you to answer the following questions. So you may want to put up here the scale if you want to. So you might want to put 0 at the bottom, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 up the side, if that will help you to put a scale on it. Then answering these questions. Now, if I move down here, circles, you've got the fruit one, you've got the colour one, and you've got the animal one. That's 3 sheets today. That's quite a lot of work. Quite a lot of work for you today. And the answers are at the bottom, but that's only for your parents. So parents, just so that you all know, the answers are attached. We don't need the children to print that page out. So what we're going to say, circles, is do this one and see how long it takes you. If you've done it in 10 minutes or so, have a go at the next one. But don't spend any more than about 30 minutes doing this work. If you get all 3 done, that's amazing. But please don't think you've got to get all 3 done. Okay, we'll be happy with 1, maybe 2. But we've given you 3 just so that you can have extra practice if you want it. It's there. Okay, so that's the circles. Squares, you've got similar, and I don't know why yours is coming up a funny size here. So you've got a slightly different scale on yours here. So yours is about favourite fruit. Now, if you look over here, your key shows that each picture represents 8. Now, some of you squares may feel comfortable with your 8 times table because you've started to practice them. If you're not squares, that's fine. And I've said on the overview to your parents, do some of the circles work today, doing your scale of 2, counting in 2s as a practice. But if you want to challenge yourself doing 8s, each picture here represents 8, so a scale of 8. So you might want to, on the side here, do your scale 0, 8, 16, and keep going up in your 8 up here to label it first, and that might help you first before you begin. Okay, so 0, 8, 16, and carry on up to the top. And then you've got some questions to answer. Now, likewise, excuse me, I'm just moving my leg a little bit. Likewise, you have also got here fruit, colours, and pets. Okay, the same as the circles. And I'm going to say the same thing. The answers are at the bottom, which you don't need to look at. So parents, the answers do not need to be printed. That's just, they were added on the bottom for parents if they want them. Do the first one, see how long it takes you, but do not spend any more than half an hour. Okay, if you get all 3 done, fantastic. If you do the first one and it's really tricky, maybe go back and do one of the circles one. Okay, so just see how you get on. If you think, you open it up and you think, oh my goodness, my 8 times tables are just too difficult for me, then go and do the circles work. That's absolutely fine. But you have to learn your 8 times tables anyway, squares. So it might be a good start to practice them, practicing your 8 times tables. So that's the squares work there. Hexagons, you have got this sheet. Let me see if I can make it a little bit bigger. Now, yours is very different. So this is varied scales here. So you've got this pictogram here. This pictogram shows the number of ice creams that are eaten on a Saturday. So your key is here. It says each picture represents 4. So you've got a scale of 4 here and some questions based on it. Okay, so you're counting in 4s for this one. Down here, your key, always check your key. Each one is 5. So you need to be counting in your 5s. And your key changes. So just be careful here, hexagons. Now you've got, I think 8 questions. Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh no, sorry, 6 questions. We think that you could probably get all of those done today, hexagons. Okay, so that's your work there. And then if you've got time, and we're only making sure that you've got lots to cover yourself, this is diving deeper with your pictograms. So here are some questions based on here. Now look, the key here is in 10s. So you're counting in 10s, and look, there's one there that's got half. What's half of 10? 5. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 55. So just be careful there. So that's quite a lot in there as well for you as an extension, but only do what your parents think is suitable. Don't spend a long time. Remember, a maths lesson from beginning to end is 1 hour. So by the time you've listened to me and done your 5 a day, see how much time you've got left and do what you can. Okay, so you've all got your work in your OneDrive folder. You've got an extension if you need it. And we are looking at how we can read and understand pictograms. Remember to check your key to see what scale you're counting in. It's really important. And good luck. I don't think I'm going to say any more. I think that's probably enough for you to be getting on with. Good luck. And I promise tomorrow we can get a little bit more hands-on with pictograms, hopefully tomorrow. Good luck and speak soon.